really decided that there's no recharge into it now? And I've read the,
We don't see any
updates and stuff.
indication of it. I mean, we had, this CPT down here is a good one. We've done 3 CPTs in this area and haven't found any gas. And all of the other wells that have, that we've vented, that have vented gas and then watered in and showed the wellhead pressure drop. We continue to monitor theirs, and we haven't seen any rebuild pressure. They basically vented down, and if there was recharge, we would expect some of them would show an increase in shut-in wellhead pressure, and they're not.
Well, that's great news.
That's, that's the data, that's what we're seeing. We, based upon meetings with CBI and DNR, part of our process is, as we move these wells through different phases, the question is, when do we plug and abandon? And so we'll be building cases in several locations, like up here where I know we've had discussion where we say we've monitored for the period of time and we've got, no wellhead pressure, and we've done CPTs and the PMW show it's gone. So we're going to be recommended areas to be considered for plugging and abandonment activity. And DNR and OEP will have a chance to review that and comment on it, and then we'll go from there. We don't want to be too quick to plug a well. We want to give her plenty of time to see if any wellhead pressure shows back up.
So how many have you plugged and abandoned?
We've plugged these 3 because, I'm sorry?
And Pat 3.
And pad 3. So those 4 are the only ones that we've plugged so far. All because of settlement of that and because of, settlement on the pad 3. We just didn't want to have a well that was open. I've already talked about the new south berm. We were putting plans together to actually install a cut-through on the old south berm since we got the new one completed, so that we could let the water inside and outside equalize. And about, I think last week it went over the top and cut through itself. So I think our plan at this point in time, we're probably going to put barricades over here and over here so we don't see any traffic down there, and let Mother Nature do its thing. And that way we don't put any equipment out there.
Where did you cut through at?
Neil, do you remember where exactly cut through? It was one of the, it was like about where that
This is the
was.
MRA, right about the center between there and
Yeah, what about
That's
there?
where it subsided the first.
Yeah, it's where we saw the settlement.
the lowest point is where it broke.
Yeah.
What we refer to as survey pin number 12. That's what we about the middle of the berm.
So when y'all saying cut through, you mean, first y'all said over top, now you're saying cut through, so
Well,
it breached, I mean,
Yeah,
it
it
broke,
went over the top and it actually cut some.
and it made a pathway of
made
its
a
own
path.
through the
We're
berm.
just gonna barricade it and let it do its thing.
Just
the
tell me
berm
this, the
that
only
is-
thing about that, I mean, I know that the outer berm was just additional protection, but by allowing all that water and stuff to freely go past the old south berm, it's letting everything get closer, letting all that water get closer to buying corn now, versus trying to hold it back.
We continue to see water only flow in. I mean,
It's always higher on the outside.
it tends always higher outside the berm. Since we completed the berm early last year, we've seen water, we've only let water in. We've never discharged any water. So the water flow is from the berms into the center of the sinkhole.
And where are they going?
It's going probably down into the MRA aquifer. There used to be about 100 foot of clay above it, and now, because of the sinkhole, it's exposed.
So the overtop and the cut through this time was just because of all the rain, you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So
We
but
were-
this time
we were-
it did go from sinkhole to out.
No, it went from the intermediate area, it went from this area into this area.
It was
So the
about 6
space
inches
between the
higher.
two berms, it went back in.
We did not have any culverts in this area. We were working to just get this in. Our inlet culverts were over here, I think. So we didn't equalize it. We wanted, we wanted to make sure that we kept that intact and didn't do anything out there. We finished this berm, and we're getting ready. I think our recommendation was to put a cut through about here so that we could equalize and let normal water go where it's going to go, because we've got the berm completed.
You have a culvert on the outer berm?
Yeah, we have them
Yeah.
out here, and I think we've got a couple over
You
here.
have some kind of check valve to keep the.
We got a
flow back?
manual valve. We monitor and close off We're open.
Each transfer location has 2 pipes,
2 pipes,
so they can move some seed.
2 here and 2 there.
So the water's steadily coming from outside the berm into the
When
berm?
we open the valves and allow it.
Okay. Okay.
So at this point in time, that's about all we have planned on the berms. We have plans in hand or submitted to DNR associated with the 10th Amendment to install some passive vent wells at the larger bubble sites. We're waiting on comments back from DNR, so we haven't taken action on that. I think we're talking 5 or 6 shallow passive vent wells to try to help those bubble sites vent off quicker, easier.
The bubble sites have slowed down a lot.
We think they have.
They have.
I rode to the pipeline, and I couldn't believe the difference from last time I was out there. I mean,
We
less than
continue-
10,
we
so it's
continue
like-
to-
A third of what they were at one time.
Right there, the pipeline crossing, yes, Grand Bayou, 1, 2, and 3, and Trish Canal.
No, they haven't, they haven't slowed down.
Your pressure has dropped on these CP 138, 136, 137. I missed the first part, I'm sure you covered that already.
I'm sorry, what now?
On the CPT 130, the ones by the highway right here,
These
the
two
pressure drops in
confirm-
the last few months.
We're seeing a little bit of pressure drop on 36, but we're venting pretty hard from it. The CPT showed about a 50% reduction in the thickness of gas from what it did when we first did the CPT.
Okay, even though you don't have any pressure drop, it's still showing a reduction.
We're seeing, when we first put in 36, I want to say the wellhead pressure was probably in the neighborhood of about 50 when it first started venting.
So you had like, what, 12 foot it was? 12 foot gas?
I don't think it was ever that much. It was less
The
than
first-
10.
the
So right
first-
now you got like 4 foot?
We have about, at 36, this one, originally it was 3.6 feet, and now we're showing about 1.8 feet.
Yeah, the pressure should correspond to the drop.
And originally, I think, if my memory serves right, we were around 50 pounds, and we're showing about 45 pounds now. The numbers add up. We did just get some comments back from DNR on the response that we put in for the 3rd Amendment, the air monitoring program, and we're going through those, and we'll be giving, our responses to their comments. From a property standpoint, we continue to look for ways to reduce our overall costs, and look at how to get rid of this command trailer and help the parish move the emergency response vehicles, clean this out. We are looking at the potential of the Sanchez property, but that's somewhere down the road. But just to keep that on the table, because it's, there's fewer people here right now, and we're just trying to figure out how to shrink our footprint as we get closer and closer to the point we want to be. We are looking at a couple of houses north of Highway 70 of having some Tetra Tech workers that are going to be here longer term, live in, just to make it easier for them.
They're already there.
I don't think we've done.
There's a Mike Taylor.
No, Mike was living in a house up there, but Mike's primarily up in Memphis now. He's pretty much on call, but not coming down routine. So anyway, our plans for the next 90 days. We're going to continue to vent gas and monitor through the PMWs. I won't be surprised if we do some additional repeat CPTs. We wanted to do this first group to just get some data on that. We think we'll be putting in some passive vent wells, shallow, out in the swamp, out near the bayou, near the largest bubble sites, to see if we can help them vent off faster. It'll also allow us, if we're successful, it'll allow us to monitor pressures and sample that gas, which it's pretty difficult now. Part of that plan is also on some of the bubble sites to actually put a collection cap and allow it and vent it over to the side of the bayou. Some of those that are in the bayou, the smaller bubble sites, to actually monitor pressure and flows and be able to take samples. So that's probably the biggest part of the work that's left is that response to the 10th Amendment. I talked about confirming CPTs and then putting a plan together for possible P&A activity on relief wells that have depleted. That's what our plans are going forward. Questions?
Of course,